last week we were talking about how kids were like, this generation of kids were more so forced, or they wanted to steer away from like the 9 to 5 lifestyle.
Millennials?
Yeah, millennials steer away from the 9 to 5 lifestyle. More of them are being like creative and becoming entrepreneurs. Do you think that like they more so by choice, or they were forced for that? Forced for it.
I think that it was more so by choice, because you look at the time that we live in versus the time when the 8-hour workday was implemented. We're more so in like an information age, if you will. We have access to information, access to we can instantly put together a video or a song or something, and it can travel around the world instantly by the push of a button. So I don't think that it was forced upon us as far as going into an entrepreneurial mindset or lifestyle. I just think that the opportunity presented itself, and niggas was like, do I work over here and work in this cubicle, or do I go to the more fun-looking lifestyle? Let me jump over there, and it's also more popular. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you think they was more so forced into it?
The smart ones. Not like that, but like they I think they start seeing how restrictive shit is in the space that they're trying to work. You know what I think is funny? I always think it's funny that just the way America packages like the American dream. Like, oh, find a good job, work this many hours, and then you retire and you have a nice pension.
Yeah, they try to like dress it up.
They try to make it like, why would I just want to work for this company that I don't even fucking like? Like, why would I want to do that?
Absolutely.
Where does this, I don't even know how that sounds appealing. And it's like so many people, or in general, like eat it up. And it's like, bruh, I mean, even though could you see why they would be doing that? Like that was going around heavy, like the 40s. I could see why they would be doing it. Could you?
Why they be trying to package this 8-hour workday type shit?
The dream in general.
I could see why they did it. Honestly, when it was implemented, before it was implemented, they was working like 10 to 16 hours a day. so cats was out there busting their ass. So hell yeah, it sounded good when they first brought it out. Did you see how they broke down the 8-hour workday?
Nah.
So basically, you got 24 hours in a day. 8 hours are for labor. 8 hours are for recreation. And 8 hours are for rest. That's how they broke down the 24-hour workday. And this was like, this came from Welsh activist Robert Owen, who was advocating for those 8-hour workdays because he was busting his ass out there. So once they
he was working more than...
Yeah, this is back in the day. So he was working, like, he's looking around his community probably like, damn, everybody working they ass with a bone. Let me break this down, make it seem a little more logical. And then they all implemented that.
Damn, I didn't even think that they sold the 8-hour work week because niggas was working 16 hours.
Yeah, bro. So it was good, but for that time, though, times have changed. So it's like, how do you got to continue to change with the time.
You do.
And we haven't done so.
It's funny because all other countries that are like, what do they call it? First world countries. We outwork China by like 127 hours a week.
Bro.
No, hold on. Let me get this stat.
No, go ahead.
Let me get this stat.
Because I got it too.
Because I was just like, yo, this is crazy. I was reading this article saying how we are the most overworked nation.
It's Washington Post?
In the world. Nah, this is 20-something finance.
Go ahead.
According to the ILO, Americans work 137 more hours per year than Japanese workers, 260 more hours per year than British workers, and 499 more hours per year than French workers. Damn, French people don't be working.
Maybe over there kicking it.
But I know that's the case just because America's really all about the bread. Mm-hmm. So it's like, let me sell you on this idea that I'm gonna give you a good 10 to 15 years of a nice retirement, and you come work your whole life away from me. And I get it, and I know you get it.
So okay, check this out. Let's do this because it's easy for us to like bash a 9 to 5. Now, mind you guys listening, I do have a 9 to 5 as of now, unfortunately. But can you? What are the pros in your mind for a 9 to 5?
Pros are like stability. You get a steady income. That hope. You get the hope of the opportunity to move up.
Okay. Pension,
retirement,
/benefits.
Benefits. Yeah, benefits in general.
Guaranteed check.
Yeah, stability. That's me being completely objective.
For sure.
And I think that was pretty good.
I put one on there because I was trying to see what came to mind when I was doing it. I mean, you get paid vacation, so technically you're paid to just be kicking it, if you will.
How many days? You get 14 days?
I don't think I get. No.
Varies.
That's for people after 10 years.
Bruh, it's countries out there getting 56 days.
Yeah, bro.
It's amazing.
Bro, some are getting like a year. And I think Sweden or something, if you have a baby, both parents can take a year off.
Well, let me ask you guys then, if our motto of a 9 to 5 was that of a different country, would you guys mind as much, or would you be as critical, do you think, if it was?
Me personally, I would still be critical because I have other ambitions, if you will, like with the podcast, with the network, with acting. So no matter what, if they change the concept of a 9 to 5, my mind would still be like, damn, I'm working for this person, busting my ass and giving my time to them. They pay you for your time, you know what I mean? As opposed to putting my time towards what I want to do, what we're trying to accomplish. So no matter how they dress it, I'm still going to be a way towards it. I don't necessarily think a 9 to 5 is bad. It just depends on what you're looking to accomplish in your life. You know what I mean?
Where do you, since these companies are buying your time, how do you value your time? And you're speaking from place of a person who has a job right now.
So how do I? What was the question again?
How do you value your time? Do you value and would it be fair to say that people who stay at these 9 to 5s their whole life, they don't value their time?
That I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
I asked the question.
You know what? I'm gonna say this guy. Whatever. When I was thinking about the 9 to 5, I'm like, all right, what can I say about it in a critical way without bashing my parents and some family members? You know what I mean? Even myself, because obviously I'm working it, but I'm working towards getting out of it.
Is that the question?
No. You're saying how did I value my time? I value my time 100%. It is difficult when you feel drained after leaving a job after working 8+ hours. Sam, I know you probably feel it as well. So once I get home, it's like, all right, I have to edit this, I have to come up with this, I have to do that. Honestly, it gets kind of difficult to do that on a steady basis because I'm spending all my time elsewhere. You know what I mean? And it's rarely that I get off a little early. Like, I'll be over to bust my ass with this fucking company, But the other thing you said,
getting off late too.
Yeah. Other thing you said, the people who stay at these jobs may not value their time. For some, maybe. Others, like we mentioned in our last episode, they have a responsibility. So it's like, damn, I just can't get up and just bounce. Or I didn't have the time to figure out what my passion was because I had a kid at 18, 19. So it's like they get stuck in a place that they hate, but they don't necessarily undervalue their time. It's just like the mindset is, I got to take care of my family. But how do you value your time when you was working a job?
I didn't feel like I did. That's why I felt like I had to quit. Because whenever I was at work, but let me also add this. I have always had a meaningless job. And I think that's important to say.
Yeah.
Because I think I never really looked high. Let's say if I got a job and I was like, shit, like someone's personal assistant who's doing something that I'm interested in, but I was working 9 to 5, then I'll be like, this job is dope as hell. It wouldn't be fair for me to be like, I value my time just because even though I'm still working for someone, right? Mm-hmm. So when I had those jobs that I had that were very meaningless, I did not. Yeah. So that's why I had to quit. And that's why I could never hold those jobs more than like a year or two when I was getting paid over like $23. That was only once.
Yeah. Yeah, man. One thing I also wanted to point out, I think one of my biggest gripes with 9-to-5s, I was thinking about the pros and cons list. I hate the idea and the concept around, as we spoke about, vacation hours, but more importantly, I hate the concept of sick hours. So I can get sick for, I don't know, fucking, how many hours I get?
Like 20? 100.
No, nigga, who get 100? What kind of job you work? Nigga, we don't even get 40. Do we get 40? I don't think I get 40, dog. Yeah. I might get 40. Might. But so if I get sick, and I get sick 2 days this week, let's fast forward 3 months or so. I get sick another 2 days. Fast forward another one. I'm out for 4 days. Now, I'm just out of sick hours. So if I get sick, I'm just, hey, bro, bring your ass in the office regardless. Or you can stay home, but you're not going to get paid. So then how do you pay your bills, take care of your kids? So how can you put a stipulation on someone's sick days? I get niggas be taking advantage. I understand that.
Yeah.
Because now, when I worked at Apple, I'm going to blow some of these niggas up. They would go on leave and be like, oh, you know, I'm having stress. You can't prove stress. I'm stressed out or whatever. So they get like paid leave. You might get like a little bit less.
Just gone.
Bro, they be going for a minute. Yeah. For like 2-3 months. And you see a nigga pop up for like a week, gone again. I'm like, how the heck you doing this shit? So you get people who do work the system.
Why you didn't utilize it?
Because I always talk down on them people. Because I was sitting there busting my ass. And it's things I could have done differently.
Now Brian realized you fucked up.
Back my past, all right? You know?
Yeah, and that's what I should have been doing.
But I hate that concept because that's where it really feels like you have shackles on your feet. It's like, well, you get this, but you got to bring your ass back. You get 5 days of bereavement if your grandmother passed, but on that 6th day, you bring your ass back.
Do you? But I do see, like, so would you prefer, because you haven't left yet, even though I know you will, do you prefer that you get this consistent, you know you're going to get this all the time, or would you rather like this unknown? And I think that's what keeps a lot of people in. It's like they know they're about to get paid next week.
Yeah.
Even though, never mind.
Now, you said what I'd rather. I think anybody would rather know that their check is coming off top. Like, I know I'm getting paid. I'm not saying a 9-to-5 is that route, but it's easy to feel comfortable or not comfortable, but you can be rest assured, like, all right, I know my check is coming. Now, I don't want to work a 9-to-5 in order to get that. I want to be able to put in my work and bet on myself to know that my check is coming. You know what I mean? Like, I know we've had a conversation where you're just like, I don't know what's going to happen. you know what I mean? But people who do live that type of lifestyle and are putting in the work are usually a lot more happier than niggas who are sitting in the office all day.
That's what I can attest. I do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it be some weeks. I mean, but what's dope is like the more you're out here, the less those weeks happen because you start learning how to like freelance in the game. And I think it's funny even how they build you up that way towards like with schools. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot too, like maybe that's why I did so terrible in school. Because of that structure, like I want to figure out and see what I like to do, and I want to see myself. Like I don't want to be instructed in going to this class, and I'm supposed to learn this in this class, and you're supposed to learn that. So do you think, how do you think people can start to like change their mindset to get out of this 9-to-5? 9-to-5 niggas right here.
Change their mindset in terms of getting out of a 9-to-5?
Yeah.
How do you go about doing that?
How you get out?
It's interesting
Brian's
that you
still
asked
figuring it out.
because you mentioned school. That's where we're conditioned to work the 9-to-5. You know, so people from the jump, they see their parents work it. They're taught that regardless of level. You said you felt like you didn't have a job that was meaningful and whatnot, but I work with with doctors who are basically working a 9 to 5. Sometimes, you know, their schedules are a little more varying, but I work with all different levels of people who feel that same 9 to 5 drain because they've been conditioned to work that from school hours to business hours. So it's kind of tough to get out of that mindset. Do you guys think it's realistic for some people?
It is. So the reason why I was thinking about your question, I alluded to earlier. I alluded to having ambitions in other categories as opposed to like the job I work now or what I've learned in college. I was a journalism major, never had a journalism job because I couldn't stand it anymore. But I have other ambitions that I know don't fall in line with a 9 to 5. Therefore, my mindset is already like, all right, I got to get out of this. It's not easy to get out of it because you're trying to build an empire for yourself, build multiple forms of income. But for somebody who doesn't know what their passion is and they're stuck in that cubicle somewhere, I don't know how they change their mindset.
I got
where does that start? Go ahead.
And I got an answer to that too. How much value do you attach to what people do? So if you just met me and I'm like, you tell me, oh yeah, I work for this whatever. What do you do? What do you do?
I work for a market research company.
You do market research. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I dust the shelves. Like how much value would you see in me? Like how much do you attach value to what I do? Or like to what I do representative of the value that I have?
That's a good question.
No.
How do you know?
Well, that's because how do I best put this? For lack of a better word or whatever, I am aware or educated enough to know that we live in a society where, yeah, you might be dusting shelves, but you might own the company that's providing the people to dust these shelves, and you got every Apple store hemmed up with your employees in there. You just here because you covering the shift. So you could have more money than a nigga who was sitting in the big office. You know what I'm saying?
I could tell Brown like, wrong, I'm really mentally disabled. That's real though.
But no, because you don't know what people do. So like I've seen people who are higher up in companies treat somebody a certain way.
Do you do that?
No, I do not.
Like, do you check out mentally or in any type of way? Can you feel your mindset change about anyone when they tell you what they do? Either one of y'all. Has someone ever been like, oh, yeah, I put the hats back on the rack?
No, my mindset doesn't shift, bro. Like,
you're like, oh, okay, that's cool.
When I worked retail, like people
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I've done every level, so I don't. It's tough for me to view it that way.
Yeah.
So do y'all look at someone with maybe a higher esteem, maybe even unintentionally, when they drop something heavy like, oh yeah, I'm an attorney I graduated from Harvard. I'm an attorney at this place.
Probably at one point, before I like learned and got a little older. When I was
now
younger.
you're just stoic.
Now it doesn't bother me. I don't care if you work some high rise place doing some shit making 6 whatever figures. It doesn't bother me. Now if you are some production company exec like in Hollywood and you're making X amount of money, I'm not thinking, oh shit, I gotta do this. I'm like, all right, how can I learn or come up with an opportunity with this conversation? You know what I'm saying?
You know what changes it? I think working in customer service. Working with people who say, but I'm a doctor, but I'm a lawyer and shit.
Yeah.
When you got to check those type of people, you lose all of the awe of what they do. You learn to treat everyone with the same respect.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that because when I was working in retail, a guy calls. I pick up the phone. He calls, and he says, "I want to know when such and such works. What's their schedule?" And that's illegal for you to give out an employee's schedule to somebody over the phone. And I told him that I don't have access to this person's schedule, and it's illegal for me to disclose that information to you, even if I had it. And he immediately goes, I'm a lawyer. That's not true. Show me where that's at. I'm like, oh, shit. What law is that? I'm like, one of them. So I ended up, long story short, I hung up on him.
Yeah.
But that's why that mindset shifts with holding people to a certain standard, because you know what they can be and what some of them are.
Yeah, I like to ask people now, like, what is it? What are you working on?
So how do you, if someone said that I pick up Lint in a house from 9 to 5, what are you thinking? Hey, so why you laughing at the job, bro?
Nah, I'll just be like, damn, that's interesting.
I want to know why.
I ain't even know how much you get paid.
So he was an ex-felon, like, you know.
Oh my god, he's an ex-felon. I think now I'm like, I'm just interested in the job in general. I haven't this is like kind of a cop-out answer. With people that I've been meeting lately, they all do pretty cool things. So I'm always in a position where I'm interested in just learning more about what they do. Mm-hmm. So, next time I run into a person who picks up Lint, it's going to be practice. I was just be like, okay, that's interesting. What are you working on, though? That's what I always tend to ask people anyway.
Like, but do you assume that they working on something else? Or like, oh, just Lint, that's it.
No.
And if they did say that, are you judging them?
Yeah, man. What you mean? Yes, I am. Like, why, bro? Like,
no, that's interesting though. Like, okay, so
I am going to judge.
Say they only pick up Lint. I think it comes back.
Hey, y'all disrespectful, bro. Because somebody listening is like, man, fucked up. Y'all fucked up.
No, but say they do only pick up Lint. It goes back to how do we value our time, right? It does, right?
Hey, for real.